Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, can you believe it? There are only 16 days until Christmas 2020. And today, I just thought we'd have a bit of an open session, talk about what might be coming in the future of Star Wars across all platforms, really. Focus first on perhaps The Mandalorian. Where are we going in season 2, 3, and maybe beyond? Also, what might we get in the form of other live action series, animated series? What might we see come up within the collectibles, the toys, those kind of things? Hello, Mark Hamilton. Oh, thanks for joining. There's I think, a bright future ahead for Star Wars, and where we're headed currently, and where we are currently is a tremendous time. In my entire life, I don't know that we've had a more rich moment to be a fan and to get content that we can engage with and speculate on week to week. It's really, really a special time. And I am, for one, having a great time. So I thought I'd bring up just several different topics, and we'll see. I put out in Discord, and I put the Discord links in here, where if you'd like to join me and we could talk about things live and have a little interaction, I'll send you a link, and we could talk about some of these things together. Let me do one thing here. Just bear with me one second, and there we go. All right. With the possibility of Disney moving all the future barkbusters for Star Wars and Marvel to Disney Plus, do you think they raise the price, put the movies on paid VOD? Great question, Anthony. Hey, Dale, good to have you. Oh, thanks for joining. I do think that the immediate future is, for sure, is Disney Plus, and I think we're going to get Blockbuster. I think that we're going to get almost all of the content directly on Disney Plus. Now, will they go the same route as say HBO Max, where they do same day and date? I believe so. Yes. The future of cinema as a whole. XR Coon, hello. You haven't missed much yet. We're just getting started. The future of cinema as a whole is going to be in the streaming service. Might you still go to a theater to see blockbuster releases? Maybe, but I think that's going to be the exception rather than the rule. And that industry as a whole is going to look very different even 5 years from now than it has within the past 2 years. Certainly 2019 was maybe the heyday for theaters. We see most of the most revenue ever within a year in 2019. Some of the biggest chart toppers, ticket sales wise, were in 2019. And if you really break that down and look at who has been contributing to the theater's revenue in the past 5 years, 10 years, Disney studios and properties account for a very large percentage of that. If you look, Disney itself with Frozen 2, those were huge. Oh, very, very large. Even the Lion King remake did tremendously well. The Aladdin remake. Some of these were not all that popular. There wasn't a big demand for them. People weren't really out there asking for those remakes, I mean, specifically, but they still sold tons of tickets. And with Mulan, that live action, of course, it entered into all kinds of controversy around its correlation to China and where they shot some of it, and some of the interaction with the government actions of China affected its narrative in social media, and it could really have changed the trajectory of it, even in theaters. We were hoping, I think Disney was hoping that it would perform very well in Asian markets, going back to the original story of Mulan versus the animated story of Mulan. They were trying to get back to that. I've always said it was sort of like going, if they did a live action remake of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? The Hunchback of Notre Dame was made in live action several times. There are several versions of it out there prior to Disney's animated release of it. So if Disney decided to do a Hunchback of Notre Dame, return back to its literary or even cinematic roots, and do an updated version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame in live action, they might try to pull from that versus from the animated. And it's a very different story. Sort of has the same elements in it, but it's a very different story. And I think that's what they were trying to do with Mulan. It just didn't capitalize all that well. And well, of course, we get the investor meeting Thursday, and we'll get more information about perhaps how that direct PVOD went. And that will give us some indication where that might go in the future. Or might it just be rolled into Disney Plus as HBO Max is this coming year, 2021, with all of their same day and date theatrical releases. But just look back in 2019, you had Disney Plus, Disney movies like Frozen 2 was big in 2019. Marvel Studios, of course, with Endgame, blew the top off, and Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker came, and it was successful in a monetary way as well, even though its performance wasn't maybe as much as it could have been, should have been, all of that. Without getting into that, Disney Studios and Disney properties have accounted for a very large percentage of what the theaters that were able to pull in. And with that, then what about the future of releasing? And to me, it seems like it'll be Disney Plus. There are so as far as the PVOD goes, the question is, will it come out with like a $30 premium, maybe on select few? But I think HBO Max has kind of wiped that idea away. And most of those are going to be just subscription based, which leads to the other part of your question that says, might they raise the price for Disney Plus? Absolutely, they're going to raise the price for Disney Plus. There's no question in my mind. I think most people assume it'll go to like $11 a month, somewhere in that ballpark, $11.99 a month, $12, And if they do that, then their subscriber base already, I don't think, would push back too hard if they're getting same day and date theatrical releases as a part of that package. And if they're able to then start churning out more of these promised series, say within Marvel franchise, Star Wars, where we're going to go further here, all of those are going to help draw people to pay that monthly price, say of $11-12 a month, and feel like they're getting a great bargain. I saw this morning there was some ask about, would you see Hulu and Disney Plus merge together? I don't see any reason why they would. Hulu has its own market, and people then can choose to pay that upgrade to package it together with Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN bundle, if you want to do that, or you're paying a separate fee. So as far as like a monthly revenue goes, to hold that as a separate and say get $11 or $12 for Disney Plus an add-on of $4 or $5, whatever, to add in, say, Hulu, or maybe you add another $8, something like that, to get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN, then it just makes sense to me that they would keep those in silos. I've also heard quite a bit of discussion about them adding another channel within Disney Plus. Right now, you've got Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, and National Geographic, that kind of thing. And you could definitely add another channel that would have more of the adult, I don't want to say adult, more mature content, like maybe some rated R content, things that are R-rated, higher than that PG-13 rating. You might get some TVMA eventually in there, but I think that might be a different channel within the lineup. So let me get caught back up. You guys have been chatting away, and I've been long-winded here. Yeah, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Oh my goodness! And yeah, you didn't miss anything yet, XRQ. Everybody's here. Park Outdoors. Hey, welcome. Yeah, agree. Yep. Filoniverse and High Republic. So good. Yeah. What about? Let's get caught up on some of these comments. Josh was saying that even before COVID, movie theaters are going to start to go down in popularity. Yeah, I know Josh said that. We've talked about it a lot with Adam on Fanjecture, quite a bit about the future of theaters. And I know that's a constant topic on John Campea. He talks about it every week, it seems. And even John Campea has finally admitted that the future of theaters is bleak. It's very different than it was in, say, 2019. And those box office records that were set will never be touched again. As far as like a theatrical release going out to the movie theaters, you may start to collect that kind of revenue information from streaming services in a number of views and things like that, but it's just not going to be an apples to apples comparison. Mark, I was born in 77, grew up with the OT, collected toys, got Legends and new canon comics, lived the drama throughout the PT and ST. Oh, me too. Right now, Mando's the best time ever. Yeah, Mark, I was born in 67, so you're 10 years older than you, and I've been through it as well. I went through the dark times where there was no new official Disney canon. You have to remember, and a lot of people get wrapped up with the EU being decanonized. It was never canon to begin with. And as a Star Wars fan, I was, for the longest time, only interested in canon. So I wasn't interested in fan fiction. I wasn't interested in EU. The video games were of interest, but I've mentioned before, I've got a bit of a video game addiction issue, and it disrupts my life. I have trouble balancing. So I've removed that element from my life. So video games were never part of it. I was a big comic book collector as a kid, and never really got into the Star Wars comics for the same reason. They were never really considered true canon. They were continuations of stories. They were introduction of other characters, and they lived in the same universe, but they were never really considered core canon. So they were never of an interest until late when the sequel trilogy came out, and I just caught the bug, and I had to go back and catch up on that stuff. XR, should Mando get A, or 1, Slave 1, 2, Slave 2, 3, Jaster's Legacy, or my choice, the Gauntlet Fighter, the Comrade Gauntlet Fighter? XR, I was watching Nerd Theory's replay, and I know Theory put out a theory that Boba Fett would die this season. That'll be the dark point of the series, that we get Boba Fett redeemed at the point where he is definitely now a force to be reckoned with. It's kind of removed that Boba Fett's a chump kind of guy. We might see Boba Fett in a very heroic mode, then give up his life, a sacrificial kind of way. That would complete the redemption of Boba Fett and place him in a very different perspective for fans. I know that the last episode of The Mandalorian has done that for me. I certainly raised Boba Fett in my estimation. The Clone Wars animated series made Boba Fett more of a figure as well. Gave him a decent backstory in his preteen years, and just how much anger and hostility he held towards the Jedi. But this last episode of The Mandalorian definitely raised Boba Fett's intimidation factor, right? Like, that he was not messing around. He was jacking some stormtroopers up, but even before he went back into his armor. So I could definitely see them continuing that trajectory for Boba Fett, ending with him sacrificially giving his life to save Din Djarin, or perhaps even Grogu. I'm not certain. I tend to agree with the idea that Grogu will probably not get brought back to Din in this series. He'll still be captured at the end of this season, and season 3 will be about getting Grogu back and dealing with Moff Gideon and his forces. But I do think it's possible that Boba Fett will die, and then Din Djarin will inherit the Slave One. The Slave Two, good question. I'm uncertain. I think that if he gets another vehicle that's not the Slave One because of Boba Fett dying, I doubt it will be the Slave Two. I more lean towards maybe what you were saying, the Comrade or Gauntlet Fighter, perhaps. It's not my favorite option. Bo-Katan has been stealing from the Empire for some time. She may be a link to getting him another vessel that he would have. I'm also a fan of the quad jet, that jumper that you see in The Force Awakens. That perhaps it could have been there on Jakku as a result of Din Djarin giving it up later, or him being killed, and the quad jet is there. So that could actually turn out to be Din Djarin's vehicle that Rey and Finn are running towards, and gets blown up. And that would follow with, of course, us losing the Razor Crest by getting blown up in similar fashion. So I like that idea, that quad jet jumper. And I would prefer that, but I think Slave One or the quad jet are just my own personal preferences. 2 of 2, Anthony, because of the fact that movie theater and ticket sales, even concession stands were too expensive for people who are on a budget. Well, that's not kidding. I've got friends of mine that have like 5 kids, and for them to go to the theater, get tickets for the 5 kids to go see, let's say, Frozen or a family movie of any kind, then they were in excess of $100 just to go to a family movie night, and you can't do that every week. So for families of that size, then theaters were getting way too pricey. You're still animated clones are on screen. I thought cloning was illegal. Don't worry. Yeah. Animated clones are on screen. You're still an anime. So did it freeze up on me? Is that it? Which one fits Mando best? That's a good question. What do you all think, Dale? What ship do you think fits Mando best? I think the quad jumper is a good candidate. Which fits Mando's crew the best? Now, this is a different question. I do think he's putting together a posse, and to use the Western terminology, which the Mandalorian tends to be a Western type show. I think that this posse is getting together, it will be a very different kind of thing than his average crew that he runs with. He's more of a loner, and him and Grogu traveling together is pretty much it. I could see him traveling with maybe one other companion on a regular basis, but that quad jumper, if you look at the cross section of it, it has the room that he would need to go about his regular activities as far as being a bounty hunter. It fits really, really well. If Cal shows up. Oh, that's a really good point, Dale. A lot of people have been kind of putting down the idea of Cal Kestis coming in, but I'm starting to think that he's a much more likely candidate than Ezra Bridger. Most people, when you see these little polls that go out on social media or wherever, people will vote that they think Ezra Miller or Ezra Bridger. Oh, where did that come from? Ezra Bridger would be the leading candidate, and it just simply does not add up when you look at that epilogue scene to Rebels. It can't happen. There's no way you can get Ezra Bridger into this timeline if he's still missing in that epilogue scene. And Dave Filoni kind of put out there that could be after the Mandalorian series, and Ezra's still missing. So could he have heard the call? Would he return? He could have heard it, but will he return? No, he's still missing, and it just doesn't add up. The same with the name drop of Grand Admiral Thrawn. There's no way he could show up. They're still missing in that epilogue scene. If that epilogue scene is after the Mandalorian series, it's impossible. And I heard Josh mention that that Moff Gideon's ship might be part of the Seventh Fleet. I don't buy it for a second. I don't think that Gideon and Thrawn are working together. I don't buy it for an instant. No way. The Mantis. Oh, I like the idea. Again, what do you guys think? I don't think you'll get a hero ship with Slave One in the name. Matt Jaster's Legacy is Legends. I just don't like that ship. Fair enough, but it looks like the Crest and Comric is a Mandalorian ship, fits bounty hunting. Maybe I'm thinking of a different ship. Let me go look up that ship here real quick. Let me pull up here. Star Wars, Jaster's, Legacy, right? Right there it is. Oh, I see there. That's actually a decent looking ship. I like it. I do like that ship. Sorry about that, XR I was thinking of a different ship I saw going around on social media. This actually would fit very, very well. Could transport 10, works well with many Mandos. Right. Hey, Trinity. Oh, welcome. Good to see you here. I got to get back caught up. Extra $1 for stock and Fox content. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pay extra to get the Fox content. That may be that other channel that I was talking about. Anthony, Santa, I think people are thinking Disney Plus and Hulu might merge is because of the Marvel content, specifically adult-oriented ones for Marvel. Right. I get you, Anthony, but I don't see them merging. They may cross-platform, so they may pull some Marvel stuff out of the Hulu, and a lot of people think that things in Disney Plus have to be PG-13 and below. That's not true. If you go out to the Hallmark or to the National Geographic portion of the channel, you can find content out there that's TVMA. Believe it or not, and that's directly in Disney Plus. That's not an add-on. There's content in there where the language and the content is into that TVMA, and it's in Disney Plus. So I don't think there's a requirement that some of the more, say, like Jessica Jones kind of content or some of the stuff that they had on Netflix would have to be in Hulu. It could be in Disney Plus, and I don't see a problem with that. PG-15. Razor, the Razor Crest did so well. Let's blow it up, Amanda. Yeah, exactly, Dale. I heard Josh mention it last night. One thing they're doing extremely well with The Mandalorian is selling merch. Those Mando Mondays, a lot of that merchandise, especially in the collectibles area, with the Black Series and the Vintage Collection series, those figures sell out in minutes as soon as they go on sale. Some of the other toys, and we've even seen it with wearables, some of the shirts, sweaters, those kind of things, they sell out very quickly. And to add another ship to the to the garage, so to speak, could definitely sell more merch. Exactly. Do you trust the man who thinks Christopher Lee is alive? Shot taking it at him. I hope you're out there lurking at him. That'd be great. what is this? Let me just try to get caught up. XR still on my Grogu will die theory. XRQ, look, I'm thinking that that's very possible. It would shock the public. I don't know that would happen this season for sure. Perhaps in the final season it could, but I don't know. There has to be an answer. Where is Grogu during the sequel trilogy? And in the timeline, he would still definitely be well within his prime. He'd be in his 60s, something like that, and maybe early 70s of a character or a creature that lives 700, 800, 900 years. So he should still be around. Where is he? And that's a great question. So either he dies or there's something else going on in the galaxy as a whole that has these characters otherwise engaged. Like when we talk about what happened to Ahsoka during the original trilogy, she's still alive. Where is she? What's going on? We've had confirmation she's still alive because she showed up in The Mandalorian. It takes place after Return of the Jedi. So where was Ahsoka during this time? There's all these questions. And there's answers to those, but as well as like if you're going to keep Grogu alive, as well as maybe Din Djarin alive, where are they during the sequel trilogy? What's going on, and why were they not part of the story? Those are all great questions that have to be answered. Imagine if he gets the LAAT or the SS-54 or the ship Sugi in her squad has. Interesting. I don't like the idea of him taking somebody else's ship. So I saw somebody say, well, what about the Ghost? What about, again, Slave One? Only if Fett is dead. And Mark's saying he doesn't think he'll kill off Fett. That's Josh's argument as well, right? Or Theory. Yeah, Theory thinks that Fett will probably die. Josh is like, nah, he's way too popular. I don't know. If anybody's off hands to be killed, then where's the weight, right? So Polyhedral Paradise, hello. Will Morgan, hello there, thanks for joining. Ezra's out. Ahsoka hasn't found him yet. Exactly. Polyhedral Paradise, exactly. Whatever ship he gets essentially needs to be a home for him. That's exactly right. Much as the Razor Crest was in the Falcon, right? Because we spent so much time on it, much like the Falcon and the Ghost. Exactly. Hey, y'all. Welcome, Reefer Man Reviews. I think we'll think Grogu. Oh, we'll think that Grogu dies, perhaps. Not because what Katie said. I don't think Ahsoka will show up again. Right. We know that, at least it's been rumored that Rosario Dawson's been signed on for 3 seasons of a series. There was rumor that she was signed up for 3 movies, but the sense has been corrected to say 3 series or 3 seasons of a series. So we will see Ahsoka again. And we know that we see her in that epilogue scene of Rebels. I think we'll see Ahsoka in that Rebels follow-up, the search for Ezra Bridger, and she'll definitely be featured in that as well. And will that be the same? Are they taking that animated series and turning it into a live action? I tend to think that it's still going to be animated. I know a lot of folks are saying with the success of The Mandalorian, the volume, the things they can do for live action now and within budget, that they've moved that now to live action. I don't necessarily buy that. I think that the Rebels follow-up, the search for Ezra Bridger, will remain animated, but then immediately following that, once Ezra and Thrawn have been brought back in, then that will turn into live action. We'll get live action Ezra, Thrawn, etc. From that Rebels in the follow-up to the search for Ezra Bridger, not in the search for Ezra Bridger itself. Let's see. When they put Deadpool on Disney Plus, it's possible. It's possible again that TVMA material is already out there in Disney Plus, and you can find it in the National Geographic channel there. The ugly ship I think about is the Slave 2. Oh, okay. Santa, my updated team, they're going to use to rescue the baby Grogu. Is Din, Cobb. I like the idea of Cobb Vanth. I'm just not sure he fits into a posse or not. But I definitely like the idea of Cobb Vanth. Kara, I love to see her continue on. Boba Fett, definitely. Bo-Katan and the Night Owls, for sure. I would love to see them. Now, the rumor is that they were only in one episode, but I fully expect them to be re-engaged, because why wouldn't they? When you look at who they are, they're after the Empire anyway. They've been already doing raids on Moff Gideon's fleet and on his supplies, his resources. Why wouldn't Bo and the Night Owls be involved? Don't forget to the lady whose name we always forget, that was in the last episode with Boba Fett. I'm drawing a blank again. Ming-Na Wen, right? We expect Ming-Na to be there as well. And possibly Cal. I definitely think that you're on the right track. Definitely on the right track. He'll get a new ship or an ugly. Maybe. I like the quad jumper idea. I Googled it. It's already been in the background in Navarro. Oh, has it? I have not seen it in the back of Navarro. Let's see if we can find that image there. Mark, Star Wars quad jumper Navarro. Where is it seen in the background? Is it in here? No, it's not there. Where is it, Mark? You'll have to tell us where the quad jumper is. Is it in this one? I would love to see it. I'll see if you post it in the comments. Who says anyone needs to answer the beacon? Well, that's very possible. I think that's maybe following the possibility of being Luke Skywalker, or perhaps Cal Kestis. Those are very possible, or a Force ghost. But now that they're no longer on Tython. No, they're no longer there. Where are they going to return to? So I don't think the Force Ghost idea is an idea that bears merit. I don't think Yoda is all going to sudden show up in Moff Gideon's ship and have a little talk with Grogu. I think somebody's going to show back to Tython and then see all the dead stormtroopers and then start to follow them and try to find them. And again, my leading candidate the entire season has been Luke Skywalker. I stayed with it. Maybe the race of beings, Yoda and Grogu, will come along and take him to the home planet. He ain't going to die. Oh, I agree with you. I don't know that he would die. It definitely have fan uprising. And you want to go down that route of too valuable to the franchise. He's definitely too valuable right now anyway. An Imperial patrol craft would work well. So there you go, XR Coon. Now you're on the same wavelength as me as well. We know that Bo-Katan has been raiding Moff Gideon's fleet, his supplies. Why wouldn't it be, right? Why wouldn't it? The Grisk will swoop in. The Grisk. Oh, I'm waiting for that, Dale. Waiting for that. And if you haven't followed up with who the Grisk are those who are kind of harassing the Chiss ascendancy out in the unknown regions. They're their enemies. And so the Chiss, Thrawn, are the protagonists of those stories. They're the good guys. The Grisk are the bad guys. And so I definitely think the Grisk and the Chiss ascendancy deserve some attention in some Star Wars content within Disney Plus. As far as the future goes, and we're talking about our kind of speculation, I definitely see this coming in as an animated or live action feature series that would have the battle and this conflict between the Chiss ascendancy and the Grisk. Absolutely. Kara, Dinjern, Kara Dune, Cobb Vanth, Hera. Oh, you're going the full route. But isn't Hera dead? I think Hera's dead. Bo-Katan and the Night Owls and Cal. So I think there's a problem with Hera being in there. Correct me if I'm wrong about Hera being dead. I think she's dead. They get the ship Bo-Katan's crew is absconded with. Right, and it's an Imperial shuttle. Not shuttle. It's more of an Imperial, craft. Absolutely, could be that. Frog Lady. Oh, I saw something this morning from Star Wars Meg saying, hey, a lot of people forgotten about the Frog Lady. Her and her husband are loyalists now to Din, and they may come back into play. And there's also some speculation about how frog DNA can be taken to use for transporting other things. So in a DNA kind of swap where they may be candidates for the experimentation to bring in their DNA. So don't forget about the Frog Lady on Trask. Yeah. Finnick Shand. Yeah, Finnick. That's the name I couldn't remember. Finnick will definitely be part of that. Mike Porter. Welcome, Mike. Good to see you. Yeah. Here we go. Here you go, Mark. Let's see if I can copy this. Copy. How's it going to let me do this? Let me go see if I can get this. Google.com amp.reddit.com r Star Wars comments DQJVK2 I just realized that Lego set 75 178 Oh, there it is. There it is, Mark. Open that. Yeah, there's the quad jumper right there. I see it. I see it. Let's go back. So you guys see that right there? Let's expand that so you can see. That's the quad jumper right there. We're looking at right behind the Razor Crest. There it is. There's quad jumper. I'm with you. Thank you, Mark. I think for a second you thought Morgan, because I always forget. Oh, yeah. There you go. I think Cal Kestis is a good play for Disney. I think so too. The Mantis has 2 Jedi, not 1, but I feel like there's a big timeline problem. Cal would be like 40. Oh, Woody? I'm not that familiar with the Fallen or that Jedi game. So Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not familiar enough to know the timeline where he fits in. Is it coincidence they put that ship on Navarro? Right. It's his base of operations. Oh, the quad jumper is quickly jumping to the lead of the possibilities. Could be that Kara says, "Hey, you need a new ride. There's this one. I can get you a deal based on what she has done for Navarro, and somebody may owe her some favors, and she may be able to get that for him. I don't know. The patrol craft, right? I don't know about it either. Bando takes that ship. It's blown up in TFA, right? If he takes the quad jumper and he gets blown up in TFA, it's perfect, right? You talk about it. It'd be fantastic. You reached out to Dana. Oh, thank you. He has 66. Oh, I'll have to remind me on Discord if you can, Mike, to reach out to him. I definitely want to reach out to him. Kanan. Burke the Nerd. Oh, welcome, Burke. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Hera, I think, pretty sure she was the leader, Alphabet Squadron. Oh, Hera Syndulla. I was thinking of Hera from what wasn't that her name in Rebels? The uh, Jason. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Get her. Hello. Oh, you made it over there in Europe. It's the afternoon. It's the evening. Thank you. Right after work. Hera's still alive by the time Mandalorian is happening. She's a general for the rebellion. Oh, thank you so much, Anthony. All right. So we've caught up on maybe where we're headed with the Mandalorian. Fallen Order is 5.5 or 5 years after the Sith. Okay. Revenge of the Sith. So that's it falls in between the prequels and the original trilogy. Is that what you're saying? Okay. So where might we go with the Mandalorian? I think this season will end with a giant battle. If and I think it's a big if at this point. If Boba Fett dies, then Din Djarin will inherit the Slave One. Otherwise, I'm in favor of seeing him get the quad jumper, and maybe Cara is involved. Cara Dune, with all the cleanup she's done on Navarro, she may have access to the owner of that vehicle, be able to get it for Din at for him to own, perhaps as a payoff of debt that somebody has to her. So I love that idea. So if we get that, then who's the lady in Rebels? Yeah, she's okay. All right, I just have to go back and look. You guys say Hera's still alive. I'm with you. I thought she died at the end of Rebels, but maybe not. So there you go. I stand corrected. I'm not gonna die on that hill. So I think and then season 3 will be if we follow the trajectory. It's a 4-season series. Season 2 ends very dark. Season 3 could also be a struggling kind of series to lead to season 4 being them kind of getting some wind under them and overtaking. If we go back to Kanan Jarrus died, right, and Hera lived, and they had that they had the child together. So if we've talked a lot about Paper Moon, and I think I mentioned that the Ahsoka episode felt like it was the end of Paper Moon, and if that's the case, then where we go from here follows the kind of traditional story arc of the heroes fall into peril, everything is lost, and then everything comes back. So this would be the dark period for sure. What else? Let's see. I'm just following up. What about live action series? So there's been talk about the Rebels follow-up series, The Search for Ezra Bridger. I already mentioned, I think that The Search for Ezra Bridger is going to remain an animated series, limited run. Of course, maybe get some clarification on that on Thursday. And then the follow-up to that will be a live action where we get Ezra, the crew of the Ghost, we get Thrawn, all of that in live action. And perhaps there is where we end up getting the Chiss Ascendancy and the Grisk conflict brought in. And you'll find out that Ezra has been helping Thrawn defend the Chiss Ascendancy, and that once they find Ezra and Thrawn, they don't necessarily bring them back, but rather they go out. So the Ghost and the crew go into the Chiss Ascendancy area of the unknown regions and are helping out in that conflict. And that whole thing could take place in the unknown regions in the Chiss Ascendancy. That's where I think that live action series could go. Other live action series that have been rumored is the Ahsoka Sabine. That could be the same that we mentioned before. There's the female centric that's supposed to be. Then I always thought that would be the Ahsoka Sabine thing. And it's very well could still be that. And then from an animated series, not only do we have Bad Batch coming out next year, but now there's been some somewhat corroborated, not definite information about the High Republic era animated series. So I would expect that to come out as well. And as we talked about new movies, and I see some stuff here. Hold on, I just get caught up because I see a comment that ties in. Yeah, Harrison Dula. Hera and Rex could still be together in New Republic. Absolutely. We've already seen Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, but we haven't seen Rex. And normally where you see Ahsoka, you see Rex. So it's very possible Rex could still show up. I think that's likely. He's a bit older, but he should definitely. I would love to see him there. If we see the Ghost with Hera and Rex pursuing jailbreak in Mayfield with Boba on the Slave One, I'll cry like a baby. Oh, Mark. Yeah, it could be. That's very possible. Get your Kleenexes ready. I just don't know. That's very possible. We could absolutely see the Ghost show up. So here's what I saw. Park Outdoors. I believe we'll have 4 or 5 Star Wars series in 2022 alone. Yeah, not only series, but I think with the movies. As we mentioned earlier, I think these will be same day and date. I think Disney Plus is going to follow HBO Max, and they're going to start releasing things same day and date. And just it's time to peel the Band-Aid off and go. The future is here. The future is now, and let's just go. There's no need to hold off trying to prop up the theater business with the movie studios, trying to prop them up. Let the theater businesses figure out their own business models if they can continue to survive or not. And maybe they get same day and date and they get some audiences there, but they're going to have to invent other ways, as they have with these private viewing parties, where maybe you get a private viewing party of a same day and date release. So the next Star Wars movie that comes out in 2023, 2024, in that time frame, same day and date on Disney Plus. But if you wanted to get together with, say, 20 or 30 of your friends and rent the theater for $500, 30 people for $500 might not be a bad deal. And you all get to have a party there. You get popcorn and drinks included, and then you could buy from concessions, additional stuff, things like that. That would be where I think we're headed. Jason Sindula is a possibility for the Jedi. Answers the call. Oh, sure, Jason. Really good question. Really good question. Do you know who else Qui-Gon's Padawan besides Obi-Wan? I go back to Master and Apprentice. Qui-Gon was assigned Obi-Wan. There was a point where he was asked to go on to the Jedi Council, but at that point, Obi-Wan would have gotten a different master, but he ultimately decided to stay with Obi-Wan. Trying to remember if there was another apprentice prior to Obi-Wan, or if Obi-Wan was his first. And I don't remember. I'd have to go back to that book. By the way, if you've not read Master and Apprentice, it is absolutely worth your time. It's maybe my very favorite novel that I've listened to in audiobook form of all of them. It's really, really good. Female centric is Afra. Oh, that very well could be as well. I just listened to the Dr. Afra novel. Not my favorite. Dr. Afra as a character just isn't my favorite. She's not the flavor I prefer, to put it that way. But she is very popular, very, very popular. She falls in a timeline that's very popular as well. I just don't know. I think perhaps we'd go into the post Return of the Jedi. That seems to be where Disney Plus live action is wanting to exist, and we might be there more. I'm not sure. I know you don't game anymore for mental health, but Fallen Order is saturated in lore. I will have to spend some time. I know, like the Old Republic stuff, I've watched a lot of video of gameplay that gives me the story, so I can keep up with the Knights of the Old Republic, that kind of thing. KOTOR. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos of the gameplay so I can catch these story elements. So Fallen Order, I may have to go out there and Google those in YouTube as well, so I can get caught up on that. Thanks for the suggestion, Will. Appreciate it. I think Tomb Raider with the lightsaber. Oh, I've seen some coverage of it. I actually bought the game for my daughter, but I don't think she's really cracked into it all that much. Rex shows up on Indoors looking pretty gray. Yeah, that goes in and out of canon all the time. I saw where they confirmed that it was Rex, and then they backpedaled that and said that, well, it could not be Rex. I tend to go with it is Rex theory. Callisto, hello. Oh my goodness. Artifacts, right. A U-Wing. Oh, a U-Wing would be neat to see. Would it meet his needs though? Would it really give him what he needs as a bounty hunter and to have a crew? Maybe 2 or 3, and where he stores the carbonite blocks and any bounties that he captures. I don't know if a U-Wing would meet that. Jason Sandula, been saying all week. No, not the only one. Sure, Jason. That would follow up with Rebels. Really nice. Feel like they had a plan for a long time. You don't just cast Cameron Monaghan, right? He is a good actor, and he has a good following. He's not my favorite, but he is good, and he's shown up in lots of different series. I would have expected to see more, maybe. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it there. A U-Wing could work. Got enough room for living quarters and crew. Okay, needs a fast cargo ship. If you want to look at the lore of the game, watch a cutscene movie. Okay. I'm with you, XR question, next few seasons for Mandalorian, can see anybody from Squadron's game showing up. I've not played the game, but I've read the Alphabet Squadron novels, and I think they're possible to show up for absolutely. I think the Ghost could absolutely show up. And I think that now that I think of it, I think it's highly likely that we'll get them to show up in season 3 or season 4. Now that we've had Ahsoka show up, why wouldn't the Ghost show up? Is a good question. Like, it's in universe. They're hanging around. Should show up. I'm with you. I feel like Rex is wearing the same outfit at the end of Rebels. No, maybe. Yeah. I'm with you, Will. I feel like it is him. Hey, Imagic Maker. Why are we talking about prediction? We'll talk about chapter 15 predictions on Thursday with you, Imagic Maker. We're talking more as a series. Where's the series headed? Not specific to the next chapter. That's our predictions come on Thursday. And so if you have not been following us, join us this Thursday. Imagic Maker and I will be talking about our specific predictions for chapter 15 and what we might see happen in the very next episode of The Mandalorian. And if you missed it yesterday, Imagic Maker, I went through the scorecard. You're 3 of 4 of your predictions. I'm 1 of 4, so you thumped me pretty good this week. Very good. You think Grand Admiral Thrawn's going to be a good guy and Gideon's going to be a bad guy? Yes. Yep. I think, and I know that Gray is very opposed to it, but in the novels, Thrawn is the protagonist in those novels. He is a good guy. He's morally right, morally good. And he's not a usurper of power. He is given power because of his intellect, and his prowess, not at all because he is underhanded or backstabbing or evil in any way. So I definitely think Thrawn would be. I think Thrawn will be protagonist, good guy, and perhaps the crew of the Ghost would be assisting Thrawn in their activities. Ezra certainly would be once he gets there. So I definitely see Ezra and Thrawn working together as good guys. Didn't someone in the cast say there's a twist coming bigger than I'm your father? We've seen nothing like that yet. Yeah, they did. And the thought was that Grief Karga was still working against Din or for his own benefit. And we haven't seen that. The other thought is that perhaps Boba Fett is running a long con. Yeah, we haven't seen that kind of moment. A broken clock is right twice a day. That's hilarious, a Magic Maker. So kudos to you this week. Look, it's come up on 1 o'clock Eastern. We've had fun speculating here. I have to run. Work is beckoning. You may have heard some pinging going on my computer. I've got co-workers trying to get hold of me, and things get done. Wednesdays are away from here. I won't be able to join. Thursday, a Magic Maker and I will be talking about our predictions for the next episode. Anthony, another question. What would the reaction be if Rey, Kylo Ren, and Finn show up in future seasons? I would be okay with it if it was done well, Anthony. Rey at this point is pretty young. I don't know where she would show up. And if the Mandalorian is going to overlap with an adult Rey, say post Rise of Skywalker, it might be in a different series, not the Mandalorian series. It'd be the opposite way around. So not sure about that. Yeah, the NU class transport, it could be a modified NU class with extra firepower maneuverability. I'm for the quad jumper. I like the quad jumper. So there you go. I've got to go. Yes. Thanks for bringing it up, Callisto. Full schedule talking to kids. We've officially kicked off the JingleRing season, and we've done some visits, and they're going fantastically. There's still some technology issues there with the platform. It's a brand new platform, so every now and then they run into a bug. We've got an update meeting tonight with the Santas who are doing JingleRing visits. And I've already had a couple of booked reservations. Getting one with Patricia very soon. Very excited about that. Big reveal. Grogu's a girl. Oh no, he's not. Will. All right, guys, I gotta go. It's been great visiting with you and just speculating, having fun talking about Star Wars today. So until we talk Thursday, you guys hope you have a fantastic day and Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye bye.